you didn't notice that or what?
I didn't know that.
All right, we're back. Talking Busch, Mankato edition. No video, technical difficulties, but Matt Train, Jeff King, and Tim Grieve joining you tonight. Ghosted by the rest of the hosts, so here we are. How are you guys doing?
Good to see you, Matty. Been a long time.
Yep, I'm doing well. This feels weird.
The old Mankato division revisited before I got kicked out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. You were the only one that kind of got kicked out, and it got rebranded. But what are you gonna do?
So now you do realize we're all gonna be charged with conspiracy now, right? Because we're the only one that trade with each other, and now we're doing the podcast. So
Yeah, well, that's mostly your fault. So you're gonna take most of that shit.
that's fine. Taken.
So what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, I mean, you can't ignore the elephant in the room. Big game tomorrow. Penn State comes to town.
I thought you were talking about Dillon Panthers versus Breast Implants Inc.
That's a big game too.
It is?
Revisiting the Mankato division. Just because, don't get cocky, Jeff, just because you've clinched.
Right.
Listen, don't worry about it. You got it. Priorities, okay? That's Sunday. Sunday waits till Sunday. So kickoff at 11. Big day tomorrow. Not going because I'm old and I suck, but I think it's gonna be a good game. You know, they've been talking about it on the radio all week. We haven't seen this kind of hype here in, well, forever since I've been following the Gophers, so it's kind of fun to see.
I'm interested to know what the local media is saying. Does anybody think that the Gophers have a chance to win this game?
Oh yeah, everybody's calling. We're gonna win. Yep.
Really?
Absolutely.
K-Fan is actually somewhat positive on the Gophers. Like even Barrero's like having Gopher legends on like every day of his show is pretty impressive.
Max Williams was on K-Fan on Friday.
I like how he said Gopher legends, and Jeff follows it up with Max Williams, who's a very good player, but I don't know Gopher legends.
What do you want me to say?
I remember him going for 3 touchdowns against Iowa.
That's true.
That just about puts you in the legendary status for the Gophers.
That's true. I was thinking more along the lines of like Tony Dungy, you know?
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, sorry, I only remember the players post World War II. But it was interesting to hear that Paul Feinbaum was actually advocating that College Game Day were to come here versus Tuscaloosa, because College Game Day has been in Tuscaloosa like 50 times. So, we'll say that we got spurned. You know, they've been to North Dakota and South Dakota and haven't come to Minneapolis yet, but we'll get there. No worries.
So what's your guys' feeling on this thing?
Well, my thoughts are, we always play Penn State tough, even when we're not good, and we're good this year. I think it was either last year or 2 years ago, we lost on a last-second field goal miss. It's going to come down to Tanner Morgan making smart decisions with the football. We're not going to be able to run on him. They have one of the best run defenses in the country, but they are suspect in the pass. So hopefully Bateman and Tyler Johnson can take the top off the defense. So I think Fleck's going to have them ready to go. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I'm excited for the game tomorrow, but we were talking about it before. A group of us are going down to Iowa next week. My worst fear is we go set the expectations crazy high by beating Penn State this week, and then we go down to Iowa and lay an egg while I'm in the stadium surrounded by Iowa fans.
You're true. Well, you're still a true Minnesotan.
Yeah,
I know.
Quick question. On the trips that you guys have gone to, have they won a game?
I've only been twice.
Oh. Didn't they win the Michigan one? Did you go to the Michigan one?
No, I was not at the Michigan one.
Didn't John pee his pants?
No, I think he passed out outside the stadium, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know if he made it in at halftime or not. I don't know.
Oh, that a boy, John.
Nice.
Well, I can tell you when we went to Northwestern, it was miserable. It was cold, it was rainy, it was wet, and we got smoked 44-0. So
yeah.
What's up, boys?
Hey, there he is.
Oh, who's that?
Are we live?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's the
Oh,
legend.
we are?
No
Yours.
video,
Your
but
ears ringing.
yeah.
We were just talking about you.
Yeah,
We-
well, I heard we were talking about the Northwestern trip.
Well,
That
right
was
before that, we were asking about the Michigan trip.
okay.
Heard that you had a really good time.
Where do I begin? From what I guess you probably want my perspective, and then you probably want everybody else's perspective because mine is way
Kinda
different
made
than.
up the story for you without you here. So let's.
Something about you peed your pants and you didn't make it in until halftime or something.
I didn't pee my pants, but I did throw up, and my pants were around. Matt, you were there, right?
No, I didn't go to Michigan.
No, you didn't go to that one. Okay. No, I didn't pee my pants, but my pants are around my ankles, and I was sitting next to the porta potty.
Oh,
You
And
made it in halftime, right?
I didn't get until halftime. No. Well, it was right before halftime. I woke up as Philip Nelson threw a touchdown to, God, who was it? It was one of the guys that played for the Vikings. One of those wide receivers. I can't remember which one. One of the white boys.
Adam Thielen.
Oh,
No, wait, that's main game.
Isaac.
I think it was Fructi, or maybe
yeah. It's
it was. I think it was him. I remember I was sitting there like this, and all of a sudden I had water and I took a sip, and then all of a sudden I heard touchdown, Gophers. Philip Nelson to Isaac Fructi, and all of a sudden I was like, holy shit, I can't miss this game. We paid whatever it was, I can't remember. It wasn't bad. And I was like, holy shit, I gotta get in this game. So I like slammed a bottle of water. Tim Lang was with me. He babysat me, made sure I didn't choke on my own tongue or my vomit. And he got me in the game, and then I made it the rest of the game. And then I went out that night, and we had Red Bull vodkas at the bars downtown in Michigan all night long.
Puke and rally.
That is absolute you can rally right there.
Yeah.
So what was going on that morning that got you so jacked up that you got that condition?
So all of a sudden, we were at the tailgate, and it was really cool. It was kind of like Iowa, which Matt, you've been to Iowa.
Mhm.
Too bad you other two can't go, but it's like that where everything is. It's like Lambeau in Iowa City and all that, where the houses, the neighborhoods basically surround the stadium, right? So there was a high school on one side of the big house, which was full, and then there was just a bunch of neighborhoods all the way around the stadium. And so we got this awesome lot where a guy had his house and then an empty lot, and he charged like $30 to park there. So we were right next to the big house. And we got in there, and Dave, I think it was Dave, I think he had Bloody Marys. And I freaking love Bloody Marys, so I had like 2. And then all of a sudden it got into Phil showed up out of nowhere, and Phil was living in Indianapolis, I think, already.
Surprise visit by Phil?
He kind of like he didn't know if he was going to come, if I remember right. And then he came, and then all of a sudden I was just like, let's go. And then there was some people from Kentucky that were alumni, and they were giving us all kinds of gruff and stuff. And then next thing you know, I was doing like pulls of Absolute Vodka. There's a photo on Facebook, I think, if I can find it. Adam Hartman posted it. He sent it to my wife, and he's like, your husband killed this in like 2 hours. It was a 750 milliliter of Absolute Vodka. I just crushed. And I remember playing bags, and all of a sudden I suck at bags, and then my aim got really bad. Like I couldn't hit anything, and then all of a sudden I can't remember like swing, and then you guys have all been there where like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And then you go to the bathroom, and then next thing you know, you're throwing up, your pants are around your ankles, and you're passed out in the porta potty.
You rallied. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
I'm proud of
So
you.
I think I was down for 2 hours. If you ask Dave or Max or Adam, I'm pretty sure I was down for 2 hours.
Were you
And like
21 at the time?
What's that?
Were you 21 at the time?
Yeah, I think we were.
It was only what, like 5 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, So I want to say I was probably 26, 27. Yeah, so I was down for 2 hours and they were taking pictures of me and I probably just looked awful. And
Respectful though, I probably would not have came back from that.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I would.
At the end of the night for me.
Yeah,
it was the big house, man. I had to get in there.
Yeah.
I had to get in there.
Yeah.
I couldn't miss it. If I would have hated myself if I wouldn't have gone in there and seen it. And then we would have had to go back because yeah, that would have sucked. Iowa City was the same thing. Matt, you were not there for the back half of that night, but that was the same thing. I blacked out.
Yeah.
They had to basically pour me into a cab. So I like to have fun on the Gopher trips.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to some pictures and some stories. So
Yeah, should be good.
Johnny, you
So-
look good. Haven't seen you for a while. How you
I know,
been?
man. Thank you. You guys look well as well. Matt, dapper as always. You
Hi.
trimmed the hair a little bit.
Yeah,
Got your ears trimmed, as they say.
Yeah, you guys can never see me when we're doing this because my video feed is always on the program. So we have no video, so we're just doing audio version.
Can I just say I miss Tim Grieve
Yeah.
immensely? Just miss him. Just miss him so much.
Yeah.
I miss all of you, but I haven't talked to Tim Grieve in, jeez Louise, long time.
Long time.
Love you, long time.
Love you long time.
So John, we're talking first Penn State. Obviously, it's how we got sidetracked into the trips, and sounds like the sentiment around Minnesota is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I am scared of us winning against Penn State and then us going to Iowa and getting smacked by Iowa after just beating Penn State. So I'm like nervous about it. Obviously, I want us
Yeah.
to win, but
Yeah.
really,
Well, I think from what I saw from the Iowa Penn State game, this defensive front is no joke. Ron Johnson said it, and what's his face? Fargo Flash, Justin Kazemius has said it. They rotate about 7 to 8 guys, and they are all freaking good. And their linebackers are basically the second coming of LeVar Arrington, Matt Millen, and what was another one? Let's just say Courtney Brown. They're good. Their front seven is good. And there was this one kid I've never even heard of. He's a white boy, so he's like Chris Hovan. He just blowing up the interior of the Iowa offensive line, and
So sorry.
it was just coming from all angles out of nowhere. So, yeah, this game is gonna be won in the trenches if Rodney Smith and Shannon Brooks and Ibrahim can't get going. It's gonna be a long day. I think they'll be able to dagger him a couple times with those quick slants, but that front seven, man, they're tough.
Yeah, I don't want to give you guys any tips or anything, but you're gonna want to keep an eye on their tight end. He might be on my fantasy football team next year.
Yes. How about KJ Hamler? Jeff, you heard of him?
Yep, sure have.
Yeah, he's a good one too. He's supposed to be kind of in the Tyler Johnson. How do you want to say it? He's in that echelon of receiving as a wide receiver. So,
But I think we match up well against Penn State. That their defense against the pass, they're not great. So they're definitely there's opportunities. We just have to expose them, and I think PJ's going to do it. I'm pretty confident.
So, but why are we talking about this game? Wisconsin, Iowa, way bigger matchup, way better. We're gonna smack Wisconsin in the mouth.
it's not like either of those teams are 8-0 or anything.
That's true. They're not.
Maybe,
They're not.
maybe the Gophers will beat Penn State, and then they'll go beat Iowa, and then by the time they come around to Wisconsin, it isn't even going to matter.
It's not gonna. Wisconsin might not even be ranked by that time.
Yeah.
I think I heard on the radio that this is the first time that the Gophers are undefeated, and there are two-loss teams ahead of them in the playoff ranking.
Yeah,
I think,
which is who?
Wisconsin.
Oh, okay,
And that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah,
sure.
but the Gophers' strength of the schedule right now is like 115th out of 130 teams. That's about to get a lot harder, but
Yeah.
but they haven't proven a whole lot. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
That's why they.
Oh, Dave is gonna punch you square in your mouth for saying that.
Listen, I'm just happy to be in the conversation. I'm happy to be where we're at, but I'm not going to sit out here and try and tell people that we're.
You anti-fleck fuck.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm in the same boat, Matt. We're beating teams we're supposed to beat convincingly, as we should, which is good. Like, the next 4 or 5 weeks are gonna be pretty telling what we're really about. So
I'm not gonna start spouting off about Rose Bowls until we beat an actual decent college football team.
Yeah.
Well,
Can I
going,
just
we're going to
can
the
I just-
championship, homeboy.
can I just say one thing? Jeff's Robert Downey Jr. 1988 hairstyle is freaking amazing, by the way.
It's kind of like a bowl cut a little bit.
Yeah. If you watch the movie Weird Science,
Yeah.
Downey Jr. has that haircut exactly. Swear to God.
Are you wearing a Big Lebowski T-shirt?
No, I am wearing the classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it.
The Macho Man. Pick it.
Oh, that is great.
I got one for every day of the week. Not Macho Man. I have a different wrestling. If you watch the podcast, I have a wrestling shirt for every day of the week. I swear to God. Got a little hammered one day. Saw the old BOGO sale on the old WWE.
All at
Next
once.
thing you know, 7 T-shirts showed up on my door.
So who are the other ones?
So I got Hulkamania,
Yeah.
Austin 316,
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, Austin, Macho King when he changed from the Macho Man to the Macho King.
Wow,
Got
that's
that one, and then obviously the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, The Rock. What else I get?
Where does The Rock rank for you, John?
He's probably number
number
one.
one.
Number one?
He's number one.
Yeah.
Yep. My if you look on my Slack profile picture, that is my top 4 right there.
Okay.
It's Mount Rushmore of WWE, and it's Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and The Rock. Those are the top 4,
Do you think that
hands down.
and you're a classic wrestling fan too, but do you think that's common amongst classic wrestling fans, even guys that are a little bit older, that The Rock is company?
I think if you go a generation, whatever the next one is in front of us, so what, we're millennials, 84 to whatever. I think if you go a little bit before that, they'll probably say Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan, and it just for
I bet you
me,
a lot of the older crew doesn't like The Rock that much. To be honest.
I think if
the movie star.
Shocking. Boomers don't like millennials. Weird.
right, weird. But for me, my criteria is, were they good at what they did, which is in-ring ability, which Hogan was probably the worst out of all of them. But second thing was, did it make me laugh and did it entertain me? And from 1996 to about 2003, nobody entertained me more than Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock.
Yeah.
If you watch those interviews, they are so freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
You're forgetting one big guy. What about Jake the Snake Roberts?
Oh, he's good, but he's not in the top. He's probably in the top 20.
I was a big Generation X
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, they were awesome.
Razor Ramon.
Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the NWO, Diesel, Razor Ramon, DDP. One of my favorites, actually, who's still wrestling, but I think he's underrated. Chris Jericho. I freaking love Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
He is awesome.
See,
Remember when it was Monday Night Jericho and he came out and he challenged Goldberg? Like, he kept saying like Goldberg is too scared to come and face him, and Goldberg, and then he had Gilbert come out and face it. It was hilarious.
So it sounds like we have two different, because by the time I caught on to wrestling a little bit, I was about the same as Grieve. Like it was Degeneration X, it was
Yeah.
Triple H and the corporate whatever they were with
The corporation.
corporation.
Yep.
Superstar.
Yep. And Kane and Stone.
Kurt Angle.
The
Yeah.
Undertaker. Oh man.
But you guys, but Jeff is naming off.
Mankind.
Yeah, Mankind, big one.
Yep.
Jeff is naming off all WCW, which by that time, like, I mean, there was video games of both, and I'll tell you what, I was getting WWF. I was not interested in WCW.
Yeah.
You didn't even
Yeah.
watch WCW. I steered away from it, to be honest.
Sorry,
with you.
Yeah.
I was deprived as a child. Sorry.
So, yeah, and I mean, like I said, those four guys are probably mine because they just entertain the hell. I mean, you listen to Ric Flair. I've spent more money on spilt liquor than you've made in your lifetime. Like that is just hilarious, right? Like how he's gonna bang every chick, and this and that, and then of course Hogan, he was the cartoon character, but he was real life, and then. If you can just YouTube like The Rock's funniest moments, and those it'll make you laugh to this day because it's just like how did he come up with some of this stuff?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been watching wrestling way too long, so probably I could talk all day about it. It's on my podcast list. It's either good beer hunting, beer podcasts, or wrestling podcasts. Just love listening to the stories about it and all that stuff.
Wasn't X-Pac from Minneapolis?
Yep.
And he is
Didn't he
a
die?
bass player.
Nope, he's alive and well.
Made it a lot
He's-
of crimes, right?
He is with us. There's a lot of them. There's a string there. A lot of them died in, like Eddie Guerrero died in Minnesota. Brian Pillman died in Minnesota. There's one more I can't think of. Plus Minnesota was a hotbed for wrestlers. Like Mr. Perfect was from Minnesota. So Hawk and Animal were from Minnesota. Ravishing Rick Rude was from Minnesota.
Brock Lesnar.
Well, he's from South Dakota, but
Do you know the Sheik is from Minnesota too?
We'll claim him.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's a ton of people, and they used to bounce down at a place in Minneapolis called Grandma B's. It's not that anymore. But yeah, they were all bouncers, which, I mean, they're like powerlifting world champions. Those guys were bench pressing 400 pounds, which is just ridiculous. Just insane.
Are you a sympathizer with the wrestlers versus the corporation of the WWE?
I was against the corporation. In fact, when The Rock joined the corporation.
No. Sorry, not the actual like click in the. But there's just been a lot made of the WWE and Vince McMahon and how he treats the people who work for him and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. It is there. Yeah. I am, but I'm not.
They signed up for it.
It's all a part of it. He's got a monopoly now. Well, not anymore because there's 3 other promotions out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, it's just part of business.
Yeah.
He's where he's at because of how he did things. So I get it, but yeah, it kind of sucks because then people like Chris Jericho aren't welcome. And then they don't get welcome back anymore if they disagree with him. So.
Mm-hmm.
Are you resting that on your boner there, Jeff?
He
Or?
wants me to be part of it. I'm pretty sure my head's gonna be in his lap.
So,
I'm waiting for that.
Back to football here for a second, John. What's your prediction for this weekend?
I'm gonna try to take my heart out of it because I want them to lose. I mean, they can do it. If they can do it, it's just, can they do it? Can they out coach Penn State and get these guys in the formations, in the schemes, in the right play calls to beat this team? That's what it's going to come down to, coaching. Because the Gophers are talented. They're not going to lose based on they're not as talented. They are. It's going to be about coaching. So can PJ outcoach James Franklin? And James Franklin's pretty good. So that's what it's going to come down to. If he can, they're going to win. If he can't, because I'm pretty sure I heard this one time from a reliable source that PJ and James Franklin are really close. They're actually pretty good friends. So yeah, that's what it's going to be, a chess match.
PJ thinks everybody is his friend. Everybody likes
Well,
That
yeah.
Gill's not his friend.
yeah, that's true.
Who's not his friend?
Jerry Kill's not his friend.
No, that's true.
Eric Gill does
Yeah.
not like him.
Tim Brewster 2.0. No, I'm just kidding. That's what Glenn Mason was saying the other day.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah. Brewster never went 8-0.
that's true.
They were
We
saying
actually,
on K-Fan that
Those guys all got big egos. Anybody
hmm
coached here and didn't have the success is gonna have
they're gonna have a chip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt,
Yeah.
I bring a canoe and a boat to work every day. I don't know what you're talking about. They were saying when Jerry Kill took over for Brewster, he literally pulled the defensive line aside in practice, stopped practice, and said,
Yep.
"Whatever you were taught, forget it.
Yep.
Stop.
Stop doing
We're
it.
starting over with the fundamentals, the basics."
Yeah.
Mm.
I heard that yesterday too. So, I am unfortunately, God damn it. I think Penn State is gonna sneak by. I really do.
27-yard miss, wide left.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think it's, and a lot of it's going to come down to Tanner Morgan too. If he can play well in this is a big spot. This is like one of the biggest spots I think he's been in. So, because Annexstad played the Iowa game, and then we were there at the Nebraska game, and I think Tanner played really good in the Nebraska game. The defense just sucked balls. So, I think Tanner can step up and play, and if he can, the Gophers will win. Like I said, but I think Penn State's defense is super tough. So defense wins championships. I'm gonna say Penn State squeaks it out just barely. What do we got up next?
I suppose we could talk Vikes.
Where's Mrs. Dahl at? That's what I really popped in here for.
She's driving out your direction, John.
What? How dare her?
Call you.
And she didn't call me?
No.
She's got all this delicious beverages sitting over here. She doesn't call and ask to sample any.
Nope. She's doing the thing called Lefsa Day,
Oh,
where
God.
all the women of her family get together and make just a shit ton of Lefsa all day long.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to watch the kids and sit and watch.
Yeah, she brought the kids with them. So I'm living the bachelor life. Hence,
Shut
out
is
Jeff's
that-
house. And
getting crazy.
I got second little glass of scotch here, and yeah, here we are.
Jeez Louise, just living the dream.
That's right.
I would show everybody my basement, but it's a freaking mess. But you should see it. Matt's seen it. The pile of beer I have behind me. It is ridiculous.
It's just Haven.
Oh, dude. I got New Belgium, Hop Avenger, Mirror Universe, Dark Infusion, Jucifer, Castle Danger.
Ooh, I like Castle Danger.
Freaking.
Got any White Claw?
I'm hashtag true to truly, Jeff. Fuck White Claw.
That's fair. That's fair. Touche. Teach their own.
But yes, I do have White Claw. And truly. If your vagina needs to be moistened up, I have those for you.
Fair enough.
John, I could not pull the trigger on the Canadian breakfast stout. Just can't get
You couldn't do it?
No, I can't do it.
Okay.
$21 for four beers. I just can't.
You can't do it?
No.
Is it that good?
I don't blame you. It's tough to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Didn't you just spend $200 on like a cask of something, John?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't buy that. But that was Sam Adams Utopia.
Yeah.
It's like a super limited release. It only comes out like every 2 years. Maybe don't quote me on that. I think it might be every year. And it's like I've asked Derek and Max about it, and both have said it tastes. Well, Derek said it tastes like gasoline. Max said it's really high alcohol content, but he didn't know if he could pay $200 for it. But that's the thing it comes in. It's like a 350 milliliter bottle, and you saw the picture. It's pretty impressive. But it's like I can't remember what the alcohol percentage is. It's ridiculous. It's like more than like a triple imperial stout. It's insane. Yeah. But yeah, it was 200. I think West Side and Wilmer had it for $240. That's what they're so yeah. so that they could hit their margin on it. So that it was $2.40.
Holy cow.
Yeah. But yeah, did you guys see my Slack message today? There's some new milk stouts out today,
Mm-hmm.
and a good hazy IPA from Fair State, Spirit Foul.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Good stuff.
Looking right now.
Yep.
When do you guys have time to drink all the time? I've never even heard of this stuff.
Dude, it's
Well-
the thing I do when I walk in the door from work.
Same. When my kids go to bed, I just stay up and drink by myself.
Yeah. If I wouldn't be such a
Help
pussy
me
and
make it
get headaches
through
after like
the
three beers now, I would drink every single night. But I wake up.
Being a functional.
Well, I realize I'm getting so fucking old that I have to have like 2 Gatorades after I have 1 beer just so I don't die of dehydration.
You got to go right for the Pedialyte, man.
Because like right now I've got I picked up New Belgium Accumulation White IPA. It's like a 7.7. I have 2 of those. My head's gonna fucking hurt all day tomorrow. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
You guys remember when we used to go to the liquor store and we'd buy a whole case of beer, and now we go to the liquor store and buy like a 4-pack?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's way different beer than we used to buy.
With the Busch Lights.
Yeah.
Miller High Life.
You know?
God,
Yeah.
There's so much Busch Light in Sioux Falls, it's ridiculous. So you go into the liquor store, it's like 3 walls of Busch Light,
Mm-hmm.
like 1 wall of everything.
And right now it's all the orange camo
Yeah.
packaging, because in Minnesota it's the deer opener today. If you didn't know,
Yeah.
obviously you can see the 4 of us are huge deer hunters. So
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, big deer hunters here.
Yep.
Mhm.
A couple weeks ago, they had 30 packs of Busch Light for $10.99 at Hy-Vee.
Did South Dakota get the bushel?
Every once in a while.
The bushel?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
Well, obviously you being in the corn seed business, you know
What a
how much.
bushel is, yes.
Okay, so there's a bushel of Busch Light out there, and the packaging. So what is it? 50.
56 pounds.
Yep. So 56 cans of Busch Light in a bushel.
Ah.
Yep.
Clever.
Yep.
Clever marketing, those guys.
Yep.
To Google.
Those Anheuser-Busch guys. But hey, Carson King tries to do something good. Fuck him, right? What does he know? Goddamn Busch Light fuckers.
Well,
Should we
there
scroll
it
up,
is. Bush.
guys, or what do you think?
What's up?
You want to talk some bikes or what?
Sure.
I want to talk your hair. It's amazing. Did your
I know.
fiance dig that?
Kind of got the middle part going on.
Sometimes
right?
Yeah,
I
it does.
just feel it, you know, like I just like
Like-
to play with it.
Yeah, I bet she does too. She probably likes to grab a hold of it from behind.
There's a reason it's this long, John.
Tim got that. Grieve got that.
So did Jeff, but he didn't stop.
Yeah, he just hopefully it would just pass right by.
I was fixated on my hair. I didn't even hear you. So.
The whooshing of your hair muffled what I was saying. I'll say it again. Your fiance grabs you from behind by your hair.
It's too bad no one can see this right now.
I know.
John's demonstrating.
Yeah. And demonstrating. Anywho, what else do we want to talk about? This is a really organized episode here. This is like the old
You guys
days.
want to talk some
Just
Vikings
trying to
or
see us
what?
talk about-
Yeah.
Well, Dave is gonna like delete this podcast because it's so hideous. But
Dave
Hey,
will have
probably
control.
be-
Well, he's gonna be like, you anti-fleck fucks. You have no faith. No faith.
Yeah.
No faith.
Destroying the Gopher program with your.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm not a fleck fluffer like you and Konzemius are together. You guys probably work PJ Shaft together at the same time.
So before we do-
Fluffers. What happened to Wabi?
Yeah.
Good question.
Oh yeah, what did happen to Wabi?
Something had to happen, right? Because it's kind of been like
It's very muffled. Like nobody's even said anything.
Yeah.
Grieve, if you had to take your best shot, do you think he's in a inappropriate relationship, or he said something inappropriate to somebody?
I think the latter.
Did he get fired or what?
I think he probably said something.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Mike Wabashaw, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does he not do the Vikings pregame anymore?
He does
No,
not.
he's like
He was
gone.
like the
Gone.
Director.
Oh,
fired.
then something bad happened.
He was a
Yeah.
big shot for the Vikings, and
Yeah.
He's not on K-Fan or anything.
No.
Yeah, something bad happened. Well,
I don't know. What do you think?
I think he may. The reason I asked that is I was talking to somebody the other day who said that they lost their job one place and went to another because of something they said as harassment. And I said, well, what did you say? And he said, a girl I was talking to at work said, I like to go home and pet my dog. And the guy turned around and he thought he was being serious. He turned around and looked at her and he goes, yeah, I like to go home and pet my wife's kitty cat. And she took that as harassment. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, she hated you because
yeah.
It can't be
you
that.
didn't say pussy cat. You said kitty cat.
Right.
And that can't be the first time you said something.
Right.
As the
So-
guy who works in a female-dominated field, I don't talk a lot.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I'm guaranteeing, I'm thinking Wabi maybe said something stupid or inappropriate, or because I mean, like it's been hot. It's like Chris Carter's deal. That's hush is kind of hush.
Or could it be like Dubé style, like benders, cocaine benders?
Ooh. Yeah. Maybe
He did have
Wabi
some
has
rant on Twitter, right? And then everybody's theory is that he was getting really political on Twitter and stuff.
Oh.
Wabi was?
Yeah, like
Oh.
Trump build a wall type stuff.
Mm.
Now I gotta look at it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed because I did a little creeping. The last thing he tweeted was something about the Dallas the
The Bears, right?
was it the Philly game? Philly, I think it was the Philly game because that was the last home game they had right before they went to Detroit. Yeah,
Yep.
and that was like the last thing he had tweeted out about like Viking stats or anything like that. So
So it's been going on for a little bit here, probably.
mhm. Yeah, just really did. Hey, Matt, text little Joe Nelson.
Yeah. He
Come
put
on,
out,
man.
I thought he put out a.
He's the one that broke the news. I thought.
Yeah, I think he was, right?
Yeah.
I'll text him. See what he says.
Which, Tim, what was Lindsay's score this morning? I missed the initials game.
I missed it too. I heard all the way up till they started, then I had to go. So I didn't hear.
You had to go stretch out some groins. I get it.
Did actually.
I pulled my groin once. Felt so good, I pulled it again.
Yep.
Who did they?
None of them ever get better. That's the funny thing.
Weird.
Speaking of sexual harassment,
Right? Is it recorded?
who did they lose to again? They go first? Missouri State or something?
Oh yeah, Missouri State.
But they're good, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They were a Sweet 16
Team last year. Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
Lady Gophers were 23rd ranked, right?
Yeah.
So what's the outlook?
I don't know. She doesn't really predict too much. She gives political answers. So, but I think she doesn't
Gives a
really know
safe
what to
answer.
think.
Okay, let's just say she's sitting there with your brother and your wife on your couch. What does she say? Just you guys. Just
Yeah.
you guys.
She
Trust me, we only have 17 listeners. Nobody's gonna run to the presses on with this.
It'll be about 4.
I think from what the most of the vibe, the stuff she talks about is that she honestly says it like she does on the radio. Like
Yeah.
she's got some veterans coming back and new players that she doesn't really know what she's gonna get out of. And,
Yeah.
yeah, she does coaching
Oh,
to the family too.
good for her. Just
Yep.
straight on the straight and narrow.
Yep.
Doesn't give you guys any special treatment or special
Nope.
information. Good.
Nope, your brother.
He's just in the dark all the time. Like
He is.
Tiny Joe says he has no idea and nobody's saying a word, so it's probably not good.
Yeah.
ooh.
Right, really bad.
He's probably got caught. Maybe it's a Love Boat part deuce.
Maybe.
The only time things like that happen when it's something wickedly inappropriate, like a relationship with
An intern. Mm.
it was bad.
What if he had an inappropriate relationship with Alexa Score? New
Man.
London ties. Oh man.
Can you look up the Hennepin County jail records and see if Radishaw's name is in there?
I'm sure someone's done it already.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure someone's just in their basement.
That's where all.
I wonder what happened to Wabi.
looking stuff up on their computer at their desk. Maybe might have Pornhub on the back. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that.
Wabi's description on Twitter still says senior manager of content.
Yeah, he went dark,
Yeah.
0 dark 30, real fast. Which did you hear that on the power trip the other day? The average viewer on Pornhub spends 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, I did hear that.
I am below average. Thank you very much.
I think those are rookie numbers, so you got to pump those up.
Yeah, no kidding. Someone must be really working hard on getting their fantasy answered. Just saying.
Oh man.
Usually it's just I type in the words and I'm like, all right, well, here we go.
Yeah.
And they're off.
Every now and again when I scroll through Reddit, there's a subreddit for Pornhub comments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Amazing.
Check it out.
There was one in particular where a guy wrote on there, he's like, hey, so quick question, can you tell me that girl's name? I think that's my girlfriend, and I'm not mad, but I just need to know so I can make some future decisions.
That poor bastard.
Oh, yeah. Is somebody behind you, Chad? Or what's
No, I'm starting to get parched, and I'm wondering what I should quench my thirst with. So I was just turning around to see what I got.
Quick
I'll be
question,
right back.
for you guys.
Go
So
ahead.
all the college ventures that we've been on, we've been to lots of stadiums, different places. Do the stadiums typically stand during a college football game, or do you typically sit?
I don't think I've been to very many where they stand the whole time.
I don't think the whole time.
Best thing then, because somebody called into K-Fan and
Well, don't ask Grieve. He's never been to one, so
Nope.
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 somebody called into
Been to
K-Fan
one
this
college
week
stadium, TCF, that's it.
and was complaining that people stand during the game the whole time, and they bring their like elderly father with who doesn't enjoy it. And I think back to when I went to the Florida State Oklahoma game. I sat down for a brief second to send a text message during the game, and I literally got slapped on my back for sitting down. You were supposed to stand.
Mm-hmm.
All the big time schools stand the whole time. So I was just wondering what is the proper etiquette of the stadium today?
Maybe that's the SEC, but if I remember right, in Iowa we didn't stand the whole time.
Yep.
We sat.
Nebraska.
It was hotter than shit too. Ohio State, we
But
didn't
everybody-
at all.
Fucking fat.
Jeez.
Watch your goddamn mouth when you're over here with me.
I think people who stand the whole time are annoying. And if it's you know what, if everybody does it and that's the custom, then fine. If you're the one guy standing because it's your seat and you need to stand and you're gonna lip off to anybody that asks you to sit down, then I think you're the asshole.
Yeah, you're the Todd. I'm thinking back. I think
You complain about the majority. I think that's just kind of how it goes, right?
because like even in Michigan, we didn't stand the whole time. I mean, I think we stood majority. And I was only there for the second half, so I can only comment for a little bit. But
You were kind of slouched.
yeah, no, I was standing. Actually, you know who was starting to feel it? It was Drew, which weird. Drew got drunk again. That never happens. But like we had to stand because there's it's bench seating, and so at the big house they just try to jam pack as many people as they can. So there was we were standing like this almost. Illinois, we sat comfortably. There was no reason to have to stand. Northwestern, same thing. We stood because we were freezing our balls off, and if we would have sat down, our balls would have froze to the bench. So
there's nobody within 20 yards of us, so we
Yeah.
had the entire section to ourselves.
Yeah. Where else have we been? Ohio. We were so high up in the state, and it was cold. We all sat pretty much for that one. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just whatever the stadium calls for, or what the scenario. Like at Ohio State, if the Gophers would have been tied 21-21, I'm sure we all would have stood. But that game was kind of in hand most of the time until what, the end or fourth quarter. I can't remember. It's been forever. Anyway, yeah.
Just interesting question. You know, I longed out when I used to have season tickets in our section.
Oh, good for you.
Hey, I endured the Brewster era. Okay, so shut up.
Got rid of tickets now that they're good.
And everybody used to complain when anybody would stand up for like a big play or whatever, and it's college football. It's the atmosphere. It's you're supposed to embrace it and be a part of it. I think it's okay to stand.
The game I remember I stood the most was the Eric Decker, Javid Best, Cal, Minnesota game. Stood the whole time. Stood the whole time.
Yeah, I was staying the whole time too because I was on the field.
What's that?
Wait, why did you stand the whole game? Didn't we get smoked?
Yeah, bad.
We stood because we were down. Like Javid Best scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns, and then Decker got murdered in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
And then, but he came back and played, so then then they started making a comeback because Best was injured the second half.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure the second half we stood for a lot of it because they were actually making a comeback. But then Trevor's bachelor party was after that, and that's when we and that's where the mystery of what happened to Tim Grieve.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I was with you for most of that night.
You're gonna have to be more specific about the mysteries of what happened to Tim Grieve.
Oh, I know what happened. I'm just not gonna say them. Yeah, I remember where we were. I'm not gonna say it on these airwaves. It was one of his favorite places.
Should when we were in Des Moines, he freaking walked home from downtown Des Moines.
Jesus Grieve.
Yeah, I lost my shoes.
Yeah. My feet are bleeding.
Oh my God.
Where was your hotel at?
We were staying at Malinsky's sister's apartment.
Oh, jeez. And she lived where?
In the suburbs.
Okay, so like Johnston / yeah. Oof.
I had to walk the rest of the way, and I didn't know where I was going.
It's amazing. I don't know how you knew how to. I would have never made it if I had tried to walk. I had no idea where I was going.
Yeah, I made it though. Slept in the car because Abby wasn't even home. No, I was going at the apartment.
That is classic.
Rain had some guy hitting on him at the bar.
I did.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's the last I remember, though.
I had to laugh the other day. For some reason, I thought about the time, and maybe it's because I was headed toward. Oh, I know why. So we were going down to Iowa a couple weeks ago, my wife and I, and Harper, and we took Highway 7 into Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And I just started laughing because I thought last time I was in Hutchinson was when Matt Train lived there.
Yeah.
And then
that was a fun time.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
Holy cow.
Man.
I think we stayed up until the sun came up.
Yeah. And you guys were bitching about
whether or not Tiger Woods would be relevant again.
Yeah.
He's relevant.
Yeah.
Masters champion. Like I said that night, Grieve totally was spanking it the whole time to all the replays and all the Masters jackets.
Right. That is right.
Yeah, I had to laugh because you two were bitching about if he was relevant. I was playing Madden.
Yeah.
We drank some really good scotch. And then we had to get up 4 hours later and go to a Vikings game.
Yeah. We stayed up until we were awake when the sun came up. Went to bed, got up, got some booze and some bottles of Coke, mixed them as we drove to the cities.
Yep.
To go to the Vikings game.
Did we get tickets from
FC Stone. Yeah, it was FC Stone was a company that I was doing business with, and she was like an assistant or something there.
I'm pretty sure I ruined that one for you going forward, right? Which worked out in the long run, so you're welcome.
No, I have no regrets.
I don't remember what you said, but I know it wasn't smart.
No.
I don't remember either.
I said something and everybody turned and looked at me like,
Yeah.
Idiot.
I was like, well, if any chance he had tonight, you just ruined that. So way to go, bud.
Yeah, apologize.
It's coming from the guy who cut nipples out of his shirt and rubbed his nipples on Halloween. Shocking.
Yeah.
Weird.
That
The
one-
best part, I think the best part of that is the fact that Matt lived in Hutchinson. So Grieve drove out the night before to Hutchinson. We had B-dubs, we stayed up all night. Then Grieve left his car at Matt's and we went to the cities
It's true, we did do it.
and then stayed at some friends of your brother's. Remember that, Tim?
What's that?
We stayed at some
Yeah,
friends of your
we-
brother's. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Was it on the U campus or where was that?
Was it on the U?
I can't remember. I just remember waking up going, where in
Would've
the
been
hell am I?
campus.
No.
I don't remember what we did.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Was it the Richfield house?
Things. What's that?
Was it the Rich or the Uptown house? The one that you ended up living in? No,
I think it was the Richfield one, wasn't it?
no, because not Rich. No, because it would have been like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think you had lived with them before, or were going to live with them, and that's why they ended up accepting us in.
That's right.
I think it was the Uptown house.
And then we drove back to Hutchinson just so you could go get your car and come back to Minneapolis.
It was not thought out, but I don't think I was sober at all through any of those decisions.
Yeah.
God, to be young again.
I know, right?
That was awesome. That was
I
so
got a
fun.
hangover just listening to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we stopped in was it not Howard Lake? Where is Crown College?
St. Bonnie.
Yeah.
St.
Yeah,
Bonnie.
we stopped at the St. Bonnie Muni, and I think we went in and we got Captain Morgan and Coke.
And we got like butter shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, we were just
And
holy cow. We were just getting after it.
Then we went to Hubert's and just got into her even more.
Yeah.
And then Train was gonna fight that dude.
Yes.
What?
That
Yeah.
night?
Yeah.
Oh,
Melissa.
Yeah. Train was
that
gonna
was that
knock
guy
some
from
dude
St.
out
Thomas.
for Grieve. Yeah.
Melissa, like
Yeah.
a day or
Ottman.
two ago.
His name was
Ottman.
Ottman,
Yeah,
right?
that was Ottman. Yeah.
That asked her like what she was wearing or whatever. So we're all hammered, and I told Train that story, and Train got more fired up than I got.
Yeah.
I wanted to kill him.
See, John, us in the Mankato division were tight. We look after each other. We take
You
care.
don't think I wasn't gonna knock someone's teeth in if things went down? I
I
just
don't know
wasn't
what
as
you would do.
nobody was as fired up as Matt. Let's just put it that way. Matt was
And fired up.
really. If Matt would have had a baseball bat, that dude wouldn't have kneecaps. Let's just put it that way.
Yep.
Matt was gonna end him.
That was the
in one
last
way or
time
another.
I never saw Ottman again after that.
No.
I saw him a lot leading up to that.
And Adam was trying to play peacemaker
Yeah.
a little bit, so that none of us went to jail.
I think I was more worried about what bar we were going to next.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I was like, yeah, that's great, guys. We're gonna fight some people. Okay, let's go to the next place.
But then,
That was probably Smalley's still at that time.
Yeah, it was in the alleyway there.
Yeah.
God,
John,
good times.
did you ever come to Mankato?
I
Yeah.
did a couple times.
Yeah.
You just weren't invited.
Was I there?
No,
They came one time when we lived at 6th and Washington. We had a party.
yep. I was there for that.
Sure, you're invited, Jeff. You're never.
Well, I'm sure I was
then-
there.
I think he just drove us to and from. He didn't actually come in.
Yeah, and then after you guys were done going to school, when Matt lived in Mankato,
Yeah.
and then we drove down for Shell's deal.
Bachfest. Yep.
Bachfest,
Bachfest.
which was fun.
Oh God, that was another long night. Holy hell!
See, that was stupid on our part because we got absolutely hammered.
We stayed up playing poker till like freaking 5 in the morning.
And we're like, what time's that bus leave?
Yeah.
9? Oh God.
Well, and then we got back from Bachfest, and Grieve drags us all out to the bar. Everyone's just like done. Grieve drags us all out to the bar, and Alyssa was pissed.
Yeah, she was not happy with it.
Probably top 5 angry she's been at me.
Yeah, she was like taking stock, going around to people saying, "Would you like to go home?" And we're just like, kind of. And then, I think that added fuel to her fire.
Yeah.
But
I
it
tried.
ended up being fun.
Yeah.
Needed to get some beers in you to get going again.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
That was my plan the whole time. It's the rally, I had to get. I know I had to get a few. I was shot. I was like one of the only ones that didn't get a nap. Everybody fucking slept on that bus ride home.
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
I took a nap and I woke up and I was by a bunch of strangers. Like you guys were on like a different area of the bus. I was so confused.
I think we moved on purpose, if I remember right. I can't remember.
But there were people like poking me and like why are you sitting back here? And I'm like, I don't know.
I think I can remember that because I think I sat by Alyssa, or Alyssa sat by me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive. And then like we'd turn around and we'd check on you, and you'd be like,
We played some drinking game at Bachfest for like 2 hours. I don't remember what it was though.
Oh.
I remember people kept.
I don't recall this.
Malinsky was there. I know that.
Some pictures on Facebook for sure.
Yeah, because I remember
Dave was there.
Malinsky. Yes.
Dave came down on a bus from St.
Yep.
Joe.
Yep.
Were we still in school at the time?
No.
Mm-mm. No. Nope.
I was probably working
I was-
weekends.
I was living in that. You ever come to that house that I lived in Mankato up by campus? It was a 2-bedroom house. I lived with the guy from CHS.
Yeah, I do recall going to Bachfest from there once,
Yeah.
and I remember playing poker till like 5 in the morning. When we
was-
said
Maybe you were there.
Yeah,
we were
you
gonna
were
take it easy because we went to Buster's, I think, and got breakfast.
yeah, the bus went
Yep.
from Buster's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
buddy. All right, I was there.
Yeah, you were there, man.
I was there.
We just had to jumpstart the old memory bank.
Yeah.
He's back.
We erased a lot of it in our time there.
Yeah. No, that was a good time. That I just remember, yeah, playing poker and then going, oh my God, we got to be up in 4 hours to drink all day.
Yeah.
Oh. And you gave me that Kool-Aid pitcher, which was genius.
Yeah.
And I drank out of that all day.
Yeah.
Because I'd hand them the 4 tickets and they would just pour 4 beers into my Kool-Aid pitcher.
Yeah.
And it was probably it was like 28-30. It wasn't bad. So it kept it cold. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
I was not a
Freaking-
fan of the campfire beer.
The caramelized, when they caramelized it or whatever.
I like that.
I don't remember. I remember I drank it, so that's not been too bad.
I remember that
It's just such a blur.
he was peeing and he pissed on himself. He was peeing into a Gatorade bottle and you knocked him over. And then you guys got kicked out for fighting. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Early. Every once in a while, I get a random Snapchat from early, and it'll be like him and his daughter, who's like kind of like getting older now, and it'll just be like wearing like a Brian Urlacher jersey and just say Vikings suck.
Just
Just like 10-year-old girl just be like Vikings suck.
let me
Nice
go.
to talk to you too.
Yeah.
You ever meet Murley, John?
I can't remember.
You would remember Murley. You'd have liked him.
He's from Iowa. You
Yeah.
guys know each
Oh yeah, yeah. Now I remember that.
Big, like
Evan.
terrorist
Iowa.
beard.
Yes, I do remember him.
Yeah.
Yep. Why is your wiener moving your computer? Stop that.
other. I'm sorry, I stuck my leg out because I'm old and I have to
Is
stretch.
that better?
Oh, now you're just giving him a handy.
All right, guys.
I like how you disguise that. I'll just move the computer. Like, I'm moving it, but I'm really just jerking him off. That makes sense.
You guys are throwing me off my game here. I'm used to coming to this thing when I've been here in the past, being very structured and prepared, and I don't know what to do.
You know why? It's because Derek Hartman is not running this podcast. That's why it's this fun right now. Sorry, Derek.
We just decided we were going to turn it on and see what happens.
Yeah.
This is going to be
I
a
love that you
4.5
just
hour
dropped in, too. That
podcast
was
of
great.
See,
broken stories.
this is kind of what I hope some of our. I mean, I love our podcast, but this is like the off-air stuff that we normally do.
Yeah.
Like when we're preparing before we get on. Like, it's just bantering, just like this.
Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best. Reliving old glories on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
My fantasy football team sucks anyway, so I don't. No one
yeah.
wants to talk about it.
You and me both, brother.
All right, so you guys want to talk some fantasy while we're at it, or
I just told you I don't talk about it.
oh, that was good.
I know you wanted to explain some of your trade actions, Jeff. So why don't you go ahead?
I'd rather talk about Tim Grieve wearing a fairy costume more than it. Not that I was there, but I just thought of that.
I think you mean the Bumblebee costume.
Yeah, that one.
Sadly enough, there's been both.
Yeah. Yep.
God, you are a legend. You know that? LEJUND, legend.
Oh.
All right, Jeff, if you want, let me go get a beer before we do this.
Yeah,
So talk amongst yourselves.
finish it out.
Did you offer up a lot of trades this week, Jeff?
I want to be honest. I really don't care about fantasy football. We don't have to talk about it, but that's what I came prepared to talk about. So I'm trying to change gears here.
He's getting salty.
No, we're good. Number one, baby.
Number one in the power rankings.
Finally knocked off Phil, right? Phil's been up there for a long time.
Yep.
Phil's on the decline.
You like your who are you most scared of at the top, Jeff?
First of all, Jeff is scared of no one.
Okay. What team do you think poses the biggest challenge?
Well, the league this year, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's got to be more disparity this year than any other. I mean, the league is so top heavy this year.
Yep.
But Hartman's got a good team. Phil's obviously got a good team. Max has also got a good team, just had some issues with bye weeks. I'm not going to lie, I'm not comfortable in the spot that I'm in right now because I've got a 2-game lead on Derek. And so the reason for all the trade offers that went out is I'm in a bit of a conundrum here. And next week is kind of D-Day for me, so to speak. I got like 4 guys on a bye next week, and I have no free agent money.
Oh, F you. I play you this week.
Oh, I gave you Tyreek Hill. I don't want to hear about it. Oh, wham.
Yeah, why isn't your mouth on his wiener right now for doing that? By the way.
Right?
Well, John, my wife...
Don't well John me. I gave you a verbal agreement on a trade, and you totally played me and went with your boyfriend, Matt Train, you dickhead. I am never trading with you again. It's over. It's over.
That's, in a way, I kind of need everybody to say that because it would just stop all the nonsense that I create. But, hey, it's fun. I enjoy it. You
I will say,
pickles, you figure out how to get out of it. I mean, that's what you do.
I will say this. I do enjoy getting an email from ESPN saying you've offered me a trade, and then when I go to click on it, you've rescinded it.
That's what we were talking about for
Everybody gets one of those a week.
Yeah.
It's like
everybody's emails are going to be kind of blown up this week.
I was gonna say, it's like you're just beating it. You send that email, and then you realize how stupid it was, and how this cleanup is gonna be ridiculous, and you just delete it. You just get rid of it.
I'm sorry, it just John. It's got to, it has to feel right, and it has to look right. And if it doesn't, I take it back.
Ask Reeve. Sometimes just feeling right. Just geez Louise.
Yeah.
I went down a rabbit hole there. I shouldn't have went down.
So the other atop the power rankings, Phil and Adam. Adam's team, a little bit concerned about Brady. I don't know what's going on there. He still got Dalvin Cook.
With Brady, he's not a good fancy quarterback. I cannot believe you got Chris Carson for him. Because freaking, that was a worse trade than. That was just as bad as the.
He's a top 5 quarterback.
No, he's not a top 5 quarterback. And even if he is a top 5 quarterback,
at that time he was.
If he would have had Baker Mayfield starting, look at his record. It was not a bad trade.
Yeah, you fucked the league, Jeff.
Every year, you should be used to that by now.
You could have stopped the Empire, and you didn't. You let the Empire continue going.
How is it possible that you think that the Empire is better off with Tom Brady than with Chris Carson?
Yeah, Carson's a stud.
He's a stud. Tom Brady's QB8. I think Harmon.
your complex face with no answer.
This is 6 for the number of Super Bowl rings. Not worried about it. Tom Brady.
Jeff, you came out on top of that. I don't know why you're defending Harmon. It's like that's. I could not believe that one. I was shocked by that one.
Do you want to know why I'm defending Harbin? Because when you guys were assholes last time and made fun of me, he stood up for me. So
I promised that I would keep Jeff in check so that he doesn't go off on a tangent like he did that text string a couple weeks ago.
Did you take your pills tonight just to make sure that doesn't happen again?
What's that?
I said, did you make sure he took his pills tonight so he make sure that doesn't happen again? You're like Antonio Brown on Twitter, bro.
Listen. I spent 4 hours on the goddamn phone talking to you, talking to Matt, talking to Drew. It took hours to set this up, and I got this. I molded this team perfectly.
Here we go.
And then I get this text message like, I'm going to rescind your trade offer. I'm like, excuse me, bitch? You said what? So I'm like, Dave is asking me to explain myself. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't have to explain anything.
It's America, bitch.
Oh, we read him. Don't worry.
I knew that I had the team how I wanted it. I was set up good. And then now it was in jeopardy. And I was like, what the F, man? But it's all good. We've made up. No harm, no foul. I get it.
Okay. All right.
My favorite part is I text Train because I realized like halfway through all this that Train wasn't on the group text.
Yeah.
I'm like, just sent him a snapshot of what was going on. Train's like, wait, what?
I think the best part of it, the memes you and I were throwing out, hilarious. 2, when you finally said, hey, guys, we're texting Matt's old work number.
And
it was like,
what is that number?
Somebody's sitting at their work desk just cracking up reading this shit.
Yeah, like, that guy probably thinks we all need therapy. Like,
so, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I shouldn't have flew off the handle, but at the same time, like, you can't be calling people asking for their justification on what they're doing. Like, that, but I get it. He didn't mean any harm, and I took it the wrong way. I get it. But I was so pissed because I spent my whole fucking Saturday setting
Sunday.
all that up.
Sunday.
I burnt through my whole cell phone plan minutes talking to you. And then I'm like, what? What?
Plan, man.
Yeah, 200 minutes, bro. What the hell?
I don't talk on the phone much. And I was like,
So you got the Sprint
and secondly, because
cheap ass plan.
I have the burner phone.
I've always wanted DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams on my team, and it's just never worked out. I had a chance to make it happen, and I was super excited. I was pumped. I thought I was going to be taken away. I was like,
damn.
You just tried to trade me both of those people today.
He's Devontae Adams. I don't know what's going on in Green Bay, but that offense is not good.
Well, yeah, I think I had Devontae Adams offered for about 5 minutes before he realized that wasn't gonna work for him, and then it was poof, gone, just like that, before I could even open it.
You guys need to stay tuned.
Well, you send these things at 4:30 in the morning. I'm not even ready to make my first turn in bed.
You got to be on the ball, John. Like you got to be on the ball, ready to go.
Not at 4:30.
Can we get Max Aponte on this podcast so I can yell at him for? I have probably sent him 75 trades for Christian McCaffrey.
Are you serious? You're never gonna get Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, would you give up Christian McCaffrey?
I offered 4 guys for Christian McCaffrey. Wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but who needs 4? You only start so many people.
Yeah, you probably offered him Latavius Murray, you jackass. That ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not even denying it.
It's hurt, man. That's
John, how many of your running backs have scored 60 points in 2 weeks?
See, he did. You touched a nerve.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna throw this when Max gets a trade offer for Latavius Murray, Terry McLaurin, a hurt Devontae Adams, and Tom Brady, he ain't gonna take it.
Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna take it.
It's not my fault that you guys can't see the forest through the trees. Okay, that is not my fault. You can
What am I gonna see with Latavius Murray? What am I seeing?
I probably deserve it.
Okay.
Just watch. Okay, it'll be okay.
God, I'd hate to be in the bathroom where you just punish your little Jeff. You just like, God damn it. Oh, you don't deserve this. I'm so sorry, little buddy. I didn't mean it.
Got no answer.
I don't. Listen, I take this shit serious. Okay,
We know.
That's
Little Jeff.
And you're first in the power rankings, and you're on about a 3-year domination streak here. So
why? Fuck you guys. Why do I have to sit here and take this shit?
because look how worked up you are.
Yeah, because you react the way you do. That's why.
Yeah. And you're gonna punish yourself tonight because of it.
Yeah, you can't sleep over anymore.
You guys give me insomnia. Do you know that?
It puts the lotion on the skin.
Yeah, well, you do what you gotta do. I don't know.
Hey, whatever makes you happy, bud. Whatever makes you happy.
So,
Jeff, I want to know between Phil, Hartman, and Derek, which one would you least like to come up against in the championship?
Well, I would like to preface that you're jumping the gun, assuming that I'm going to make the championship. But
Saying hypothetically.
But it's game.
You're so humble, Jeff.
I am. I'm a humble person.
I see that he's trying to keep his mind in the right place. Like, nope, I'm not gonna jump the gun. I'm not gonna be in the championship. I'm not good enough to be in the championship. But really.
Did you not see my team weeks 1 through 5? Tyreek Hill, Saquon Barkley, and Devin Singletary all in the IR. The only reason I got to where I was because of Cooper Kupp. I was down to Langer like 22 points going into Monday Night Football, and Cooper Kupp scored me 23. Had no business winning that game. And because Russell Wilson is playing out of his freaking mind.
Yeah, he's freaking good.
And because Adam Hartman had a seizure and hit accept on the computer and gave me Chris Carson.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But to be fair, it worked out for both.
To be fair,
Adam was very dominant the first half of the season. I think he was number 1 in the power rankings, blowing everybody away. There's ups and downs and ebbs and flows. And
so are you saying you would not want to face Adam?
I will challenge whoever's in front of me, John. I deal the cards I'm dealt.
I would say Phil Bastron might be the. Phil's looking good this year. He's been sitting there with his pants around his ankles, waiting for us to talk about him. Now here we go.
All right,
Hold on.
I've had a few cocktails.
You had to wait an hour and 15 minutes, but we got to you, Phil.
Yeah.
Phil's got a good team, but I think Phil's team is gonna start trending down. I don't know what to think of Sony Michel. Like, he's hot, he's cold. Kareem Hunt is now back, so he's going to be taking carries from Nick Chubb. Lamar Jackson has a pretty tough schedule, and he's hit or miss. So
Did you see what he just did to the number 1 defense in the league?
Yeah.
Not worried about it, John.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I blew up.
The defense that's breaking fantasy football.
Yeah.
That is the complete fallacy of the year. The New England Patriots are not that good. When you play the Miami Dolphins twice, the New York Jets
Grieve, will
twice,
you just put your dick in his mouth? Jesus Christ. Shut up. The Patriots defense is really good.
they're not that good.
They're definitely coming down. They have to come down from where they are because they're playing actual football teams now.
Well, yeah, I mean, they might not win 16 games this year or whatever, but they're probably still going to be there right at the end for the Super Bowl.
No, for sure. But their defense from a fantasy football standpoint has got to come down.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, they're not going to be averaging 30 points like they were for 5 weeks in a row.
Did you know it was through like 5 weeks, the defense had scored more touchdowns than they had allowed.
Mm-hmm. It was stupid.
Like the Patriots
Stupid.
offense didn't even need to exist. They could just play defense all the time and win. Unreal.
It'll even out. It's ebbs and flows, and it's all about how your team is trending at the end of the year. So,
Well,
we'll see.
Hottest team right now then is Derek. So is that the one? Is that the one with the bullet that you have to avoid?
I think Derek's probably got the most complete team.
He doesn't want to say it.
He just
Derek.
Yeah. Hey, before we get too in depth on this, Matt, I'm going to read you the Patriots' first 8 weeks fantasy scores. You ready?
Yeah.
Week 1.
their opponents while you're at it too.
Yep. Pittsburgh, week 1, 20.8. Miami, 41. New York Jets, 21.2. Buffalo, 29. Washington, 19.2. New York Jets, 37.8. Giants, sorry. Then New York Jets, 29. Then Cleveland, 25.8.
Those are 5 of the worst teams in football.
Really?
What who cares? Who
But
cares?
Yeah,
But when you look at the rest of their schedule, they play Philly, they play Dallas, they play Houston. They're probably going to get torn apart by Kansas City. Then they play Cincinnati and Buffalo and Miami. So
even if they play good, win those games, and have good defense, their numbers
Yeah.
are way down.
I think to Matt's point, they're not going to score 37, but they're probably going to be in the 19.2.
Yeah, they're not. They're not gonna. They're not bad by any means.
And not to harp on Hartman here, but sorry about the bad trades. But trading Marlon Mack for the New England defense, not a good trade, in my opinion. But I am nobody, and I am just here to enjoy.
I think I said the same thing on the podcast when it happened, so I agree.
Yeah, I think he did actually. But whatever, to each their own.
That bastard won't give up Delvin Cook to save his life either.
You offer him Latavius Murray. What do you fucking want from him?
John, I don't need to tell you what I offered, but I don't gouge people.
I know what you offer.
Running back for Dalvin Cook.
I'm gonna look at your roster and I know exactly what you offered him. Hold on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dylan Panthers. Here we go. So guaranteed, you offered him Hollywood Brown, Rashad Penny, and Latavius Murray for.
I offered Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, and I think Devontae Adams. For Delvin Cook, Madison. For Delvin Cook and Madison. Wouldn't take it. Yeah, what? What?
Hey.
You got something to say to me now?
Yeah. Why are you not fluffing Grieve right now? Just throwing it out.
Because listen, this whole thing started way back at the beginning of the year when Derek dropped Tom Brady.
That's where the domino started.
This whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, that is my whole thing. I don't like dropping people. I would rather package things together and try to get something. So
You don't like dropping people. You drop people 3 hours after you read something on fucking Bleacher Report.
Listen, if you're reading Bleacher Report, that's why you're 1-8, bud. Sorry.
Whoa.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa.
I'm not 1-8. I'm not 1-8. I know somebody who is. He happens to be a dumpster fire.
Oh,
He might read Bleacher Report.
I texted Drew today after I offered him a trade. I said, Drew, I am literally your only hope. Please help me help you. Didn't text back. Didn't accept the trade.
He's building a I think he was supposed to build a deck. Now he's building an awning, it looked like. I don't fucking know what that guy's doing. He doesn't have siding on his house. I know that. He might want to do that first.
He's got
But
exciting. But hey, man, kudos to him for being able to do all that stuff. So I
Yeah.
tried to help him. What you guys don't understand is I'm a caring person. Like I want everyone to do well. I want you all to succeed. And when you're in distress, I try to help you. And just if you're not on my level and you don't see what I'm seeing, I can't help you.
what you're doing with your hands right now is exactly what I picture when I'm doing this with you on the other line. Is I see you just your hands are moving like 100 miles an hour doing this. I just see it.
I get so frustrated
His
because
hair's
I'm like,
bouncing up and down.
oh! And then that's fine. I'll keep them and they'll blow up for 30 points. Whatever. I'm fine. Told you.
Fine.
But
What were we
So-
talking about?
I don't know.
I checked out.
I think Derek's got the most complete team. Adam Filler, so it'll be a tight race. We'll see.
If Derek can pick the right people to play.
Yeah.
That's his problem right now. He's in his own head. Well, it's worked out the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
but
Well,
Before that.
even so, Derek's team last year, he had like all of the Kansas City Chiefs, and he kind of had the team where you think like they're gonna fall off a cliff eventually, right? Like somebody's gonna blueprint them and figure them out. Like, where is Derrick Henry coming from this year? Can somebody explain that to me?
Yeah.
Never.
He's number
was on it.
8. Yeah. Same with Aaron Jones too. Like
Aaron Jones is nothing special, but he's just scoring.
Well,
He's
it's
just a
'cause
machine
Devontae
in
Adams-
some games, and
Once
then-
Devontae Adams gets healthy, Aaron Jones's production's gonna go down.
yeah, he's number 3. Aaron Jones is number 3 right now. That's just ridiculous. That's terrible.
I think Mike Evans has been on Derek's team about the last 6 years, and that's got to be the most frustrating fantasy football player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The infamous goose egg that he put up.
Rolling right now though.
Yeah, he's Mike Evans, the number 1 receiver.
in fantasy football. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
2 weeks, 23 catches, 380 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
So the 2 passes that Jameis didn't have picked off went for touchdowns to Mike Evans, or what?
Pretty much, yeah. And Chris Godwin is now all of a sudden a ghost.
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Adam should have sold high on him.
Should have.
Not gonna
He had
criticize.
his shot with me. He didn't take it.
Well, that is the summary of the goddamn year in the fantasy football league. Everybody had their chance.
Mm-hmm. I said I would have traded Godwin for I can't remember who it was, and it's like, I don't know.
A question for you guys: do you think we will ever get rid of the defense and tight end position?
I actually kind of like defenses this year. I kind of like the scoring. I think this is the best year we've had yet in terms of defensive scoring. And tight ends, I don't know. I don't know I don't know about tight ends, I guess.
Make it a super flex, and if you want to drop a tight end, or if you want to draft a tight end, go for it.
Yeah, you could. I don't know.
Jeez.
I like the if you're gonna charge money for transactions. I think
I
it's kind
don't.
of nice. But if you're gonna do that, I like the fact that you have a defense, right? That you still have to count on. So there's a little more strategy involved. Are you gonna be
Yeah.
shifting that around, or are you gonna, I
Yeah.
don't know.
You definitely cannot sit on a defense. Definitely
Right.
not.
Right. It'll burn you hard.
The distribution, the spacing between like what's a good performance, a medium performance, and a bad performance feels about right this year on the defenses to me.
Yeah.
The tight end position is just super frustrating, and I have the one tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Frustrating for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
it's different this year because nobody's really that good.
Right.
Yeah, even Ertz, Kelsey, and Kittle aren't
No.
setting the world on fire.
Fucking Ertz has been the second best tight end for Philadelphia for half the year.
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard
Yeah.
getting just as much run as he is.
And Dallas Goddard, I thought, was a free agent as of. Nope, that must be in a different league.
Well, probably is a free agent because who's gonna roll the dice on Goddard when they have Ertz? You know.
Yeah.
I know he's a free agent. Trust me.
I know.
Yeah, he's on your watch list. I get it.
Matt, how does it feel having a quality running back tandem this year? It's not really your style.
I spent no money on running backs.
I don't know, but you got one.
I did get Saquon Barkley. Saquon's been good. If you backtrack our trade, DeAndre Hopkins has been pretty good for you too, I think.
Yeah, when he came over, he said something about coaching on the previous team.
Okay. I think that one's probably been more or less even.
Will Fuller getting hurt helped DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
So
DeAndre Hopkins has been pretty good, and Saquon's been okay. He's had a couple good weeks, but he's not had the, I paid $40 for him, 170 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns kind of week. So
you
It's
can
a
just
massive injuries coming back from though. Even though he came back early, I don't.
That's
think
what
people
I'm.
have enough
That's
of
what I'm saying. Shit.
Jesus.
that. Sorry, guys.
That's what I'm saying.
So you can just tell, like, nobody loves Saquon Barkley more than me. You will all fight me to the death every year drafting him, and
That's fine.
He's a really good football player on a really bad team.
I'll let you draft him for $40 and then we'll trade for him 6 weeks later. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, then I'll just cancel it and trade to somebody else.
Oh yeah, no, you'll be like, oh no, John, we'll do this. Even though I'm secretly jerking Matt off as we speak, and I'm gonna trade with him anyway.
John, I was hanging on by a thread. I had to do what I had to do.
Just say that back to him when you.
Do you remember when? Do you remember when I gave you Alex Smith when he was the number 1 quarterback and Gronkowski?
I
and
do.
You gave Fournette that cost me the championship.
Yeah, I do.
Probably.
Yeah.
Good trade.
Yeah, it was a good trade, and you could have kept. Last year I got crucified for when I tried to back out of a trade with Drew. Do you remember that? I was the bad guy because I didn't want. Jesus, Drew, I thought he was pretty much masturbating with his fucking tears over text messaging. Well, we had agreement, and you can't just back out like that. And I'm gonna tell my mom. I was like, fine, dude. We'll do it.
I got a text message from Drew week 1 this year, basically saying that his entire team was on the trade block and available.
Week 1.
Yeah. He offered me who's Philly's wide receiver again? Alshon Jeffrey for Cooper Kupp, and I'm very glad I didn't take that because
on paper that is even. On paper, it's even.
Cooper Kupp is just playing out of his mind.
Yeah, let's look at the old dumpster fire here. I mean, on paper, he's got a good team.
John.
On paper, Jeff. Names. You ever heard of a team name called the Paper Champions? It's because their team looks good on paper. It doesn't do shit when it comes to playing the game.
Cleveland Browns.
Exactly. They are the Paper Super Bowl champions.
What's the over-under that Drew knew Melvin Gordon was holding out?
Yeah, that's a good question. He's I think always feels like he always has Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, he traded. That was that trade we did last year's Melvin Gordon for Diggs and James White.
But Melvin Gordon, that was obviously kind of dumb. But Joe Mixon is a huge bust this year, massive.
Oh, since he's terrible. AJ Green, huge bust.
And Julio Jones and Keenan Allen are 2 top 10 wide receivers in a year that wide receivers just totally fucking suck.
Yeah, he won't trade them either. Trust me.
Yeah, Julio's actually out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, Julio.
If he catches 8 balls for 80 yards and a touchdown, he'll be 3rd.
That's true.
Julio was the number 1 or number 2 receiver last year, I think. He just never scores any touchdowns. He always has 4 or 5 touchdowns, and that's it.
He had 4 touchdowns in the first 3 weeks this year. Hasn't scored since.
It's rare for him.
Yeah. Well,
He
Austin Hooper is cutting into his take too.
All right, guys, we're going on an hour and a half. I gotta go.
We didn't even cover anything.
I know. We just sat here.
We didn't even cover anything. That's hilarious.
I had fun.
I did.
Can we put this on the website? Or
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
All right, hold on. Let's Matt, can you do 9 more minutes? Can you do 9 more minutes?
Sure.
All right. Let's do a predictors. We'll do who's going to win in the Busch League, and then what's your prediction for Minnesota versus Dallas, and then we'll cut it. So, matchup: breast implants going against the Dillon Panthers. Who's winning this week? Jeff's already got 17.6. Who's winning?
Jeff's getting overly confident. I'm coming in hot.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to score exactly 98 points, and I'm going to win 98-97.
I'm gonna lose to my old team.
True. God
One
damn
guy.
it.
Two.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Jeff. He's already got an 18 spot.
Yeah.
One running back, and yeah, I'm going Jeff.
I'm going to go Jeff as well. I love you, Grieve, but I'm going to go Jeff.
Screw you guys.
Soup du jour is going up against the Peppy Kids. Trev is projected to score 109. Phil projected to score 110. He only got 5.5 from Darren Waller. Who you got?
You know, I feel bad for Soup's team. He can't, you know, the rankings that they come out with on the website or whatever on ESPN. He came out ranked number 1, and on paper his team's incredible. But I don't know what happened, if it was just bad matchups or what. But he's had some bad luck this year.
But those things are dumb. That whatever that is,
That final thing.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Changes
It's terrible.
every week by a lot, too. Yeah, so bad take, Jeff.
Hey, I know the whiskey's kicking in. I can just tell it's kicked in hard.
I can't win. I try to be nice, and you know, I feel bad for Soup. It would be frustrating.
Okay, who you got? Who you
Me?
picking? Yeah.
I'll take Soup.
Okay.
Well, it depends on if Amari Cooper plays. But
Jesus, you got Soup.
Turns
Drew,
it-
write it down. He chose Soup. Grieve.
I think Phil turns it around.
Okay. Matt.
Yeah, Peppy Kids, too much firepower.
Yep. I'm going Peppy Kids on this one as well.
we'll reconvene next week, and we'll see what.
Night
bad.
Train Rain. He got 11 from Hunter Henry. He's projected to go for 113. Team Aponte. He's projected to go 99.9. Jeff, who you got? Well, actually, I know who Jeff's got. He's going to pick Matt. Matt's going to pick himself. I don't really
pick.
I think you're going to go the opposite just because you don't want me to make fun of you.
Yeah. No, I need Matt to win this game
Yep.
because I'm creeping up on Max here.
Yep.
And when I beat Dillon Panthers,
Yep.
objects are closer.
Jesus.
Did you have a stroke?
Yeah, kind of.
The whiskey is definitely kicked in.
No, it's got to be your bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
can stick your head up a butcher's ass.
Which, Matt, by the way, very good pickup with Hunter Henry. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt, I'll let you pick yourself, but I just knew that's where you're going, so.
It is.
Let's see, Matt, what's your record right now?
3-6. Coming off 14-point week when I lost. Scored 117 the week before.
I am going to. I think you're gonna win. I'm gonna go Matt. All right, we got a old school matchup. This is the Bears versus the Packers. This is UNC versus Duke. This is the Red Sox versus the Yankees. It is the Heartbreak Kid versus the pre-snap adjustment. The oldest storied rivalry in the Busch League. I think we're tied. I think the overall matchup is tied, or if it's not, it's a game apart. And I'm pretty sure I'm winning. So, Jeff, who you got?
Gotta look
Oh, here, Heartbreak Kid is supposed to get 106.7, pre-snap adjustment 109.5.
Ooh.
Again, it depends on if Le'Veon Bell plays. You know what, John? I like the pre-snap adjustment.
Grieve?
I almost think it's kind of a coin flip, as your guys' history would show. I'm gonna go Heartbreak Kid on this one.
You son of a bitch.
Kind of because I wanted to just say that.
If he starts Kyler Murray, I mean, just shame on him.
I hope Alyssa stops putting her thumb in your butt during intercourse, you son of a bitch.
was aggressive.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
I just don't like Lang's team at all. I just have a hard time even remembering how it is that he scored 191 points in 1 week. I just can't.
Because he had Will Fuller, who scored like 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. And I think he had Matt Ryan going that week too, who went crazy. Yeah, it was just a weird week.
Man, it was 191 points. We're not talking.
I know.
I'm going John. I just think I can't even believe that Lang is in the playoff picture with this team. But what do I know?
I think I'm gonna actually go with myself this week. He's got Breida. I've got Coleman. I'm gonna put my money on Coleman actually getting the bulk of the carries and doing something with it. So I'm gonna go with myself on that one. All right, and then we got the battle of the cousins, the heart attack, ready to get to 105.3, easy as a businessy, projected to get 108.8. He's got 10.3 from Philly Rivers. Ugh. Buzz, your girlfriend.
Yep.
Look at his matchups, though. He's got Derrick Henry against Kansas City. He's got Mike Evans against Arizona. He's got Andrews against Cincinnati. Those are a lot of pretty juicy matchups, so I got to take Derrick.
Grieve?
I'm gonna go heart attack.
Okay.
That's it.
Matt?
I'm going Herman. Adam.
Which freaking one?
Yeah. Yeah, what? Wait, well, Hartman, what?
Choice. Great.
I've said it before, and I've said it a million times this year. Don't go against the Empire. Just when you think he's down, he just comes back and kicks you right in the balls. So I'm going with Adam Hartman to defeat Easy as a by CC.
I think that the Empire might be starting to show some cracks, though, because I've been getting some trade offers.
Yeah?
Pretty,
Yeah.
I said.
And last but not least, I don't even know why we're going to discuss this, but we might as well do it for picks. The dumpster fire. He's projected to get 105.3. He's already got 32.
Dave is starting a running back on a bye.
Yeah.
Over Elvin.
Yeah.
Dave again is doing the bye week deal where he doesn't start a running back, and it is what it is.
On the bench.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, who you guys got? It would be hilarious if this was the lowest scoring game of all time, but I think Drew's got a pretty good buffer built up.
Yep. I'm going Drew with the buffer.
Yeah, same.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm going to take the dumpster fire. All right, we got those in. All right, final remarks. Vikings, Dallas, Matt Train. How is Minnesota going to win this game?
They gotta be able to run the ball and get the play action going, right? That's what worked very well with them in the past during their 4-game winning streak. And last week's game, I don't feel terribly bad about the way the Cousins played. I guess it depends on what your expectations is from the guy. If you want him to be, Joe Montana, he just is not going to be that. But
Right.
Man, if he goes out there and throws for 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, and doesn't commit a turnover, in my mind, that's a win. I know he missed some deep balls, but I think he's going to play well. I think if we can run the ball, we have a good chance of winning this game. Defense has got to show up too and not give up 91-yard touchdown runs. But I don't feel terribly confident going into the game. On the road, big ass game, and
To win the game with 2 bench Pat Elflein and put in Drew Samia, and then I think we'll be okay.
Dak's playing pretty well also, and our pass defense has been pretty awful. I'll take the Vikings, but I don't feel terribly confident in it.
I would concur. It's gonna. I guess the only thing we got going into it is Kirk has at least played in that building, for 3 years. Had to go down there once a year, so it's not new to him. It's gonna be this defense that decides this game, because I agree with you. That loss in Kansas City wasn't Kirk Cousins' fault. He did exactly what we needed him to do. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He didn't have a turnover.
He got them in the, he essentially had the game-winning touchdown done, and the defense let him down. So it's going to come down to that. They got to figure out how to stop Cooper, stop that running game. We're down. Linval's already ruled out, so we're already taking a step back. So Zimmer better figure it out how to get this team ready for primetime games, because I'm kind of getting a little irritated with how it seems like every primetime game or every big game, we just are not. The last game with significance, or not significance, but with something on the line that the Vikings have won, was the 2015 Week 17 game in Green Bay when they won the division. That was the last time they've ever won a game worth a shit. So he's got to figure it out.
Yep.
What do we got down in Bloomington? Final thoughts.
I can see it going either way, just like any Kirk Cousins games he plays.
Yep.
I just don't feel great about it. It's Minnesota sports.
Yeah.
2 big games going on. I feel better about the Gophers than I do the Vikings, and I don't see both coming out on top.
That's interesting.
I'm a true Minnesota sports fan.
That's interesting.
I guess I would have to agree and parlay Matt's comments in that I don't think Kirk Cousins has really been the issue. I think he's been playing fairly well. Just like last year, our defense is not playing up to the standard. I'm a little bit concerned, especially with the people that we have out, and Adam Thielen's out too. So I think the Cowboys are going to take it.
Treadwell. Step up.
Treadwell, man. 3 for 58. Let's make it 5 for 100. Come on, buddy. Let's go.
How long until Treadwell ends up on Adam Hartman's fantasy roster?
Ooh,
Good question.
good question.
Well,
If he does 5 for 100,
Thank you.
yeah. I'm surprised Brandon Zylstra isn't on there right now.
I have a confession. For a hot second, I hit the watch button and immediately. I don't have anything to say to that.
That's like when you dabbled in cartoon porn. You had to just take a look. Didn't like what you saw.
I think the best part about this is, for as many ads and drops that Jeff uses, he uses the watch button too. So think of how many ads and drops they didn't use that watch
It's
button.
like a beautiful mind with his like visualizations.
Yeah.
So Mondays are accumulation day, Tuesdays are trim down day, and Wednesdays are finalization day. You guys don't do this?
No. Guess
Oh.
that's why we're all just looking up at you, Jeff.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
They're all even, and it's anyone's game. What do you guys think is going to happen with the Vikings D here? Like, what do we do?
Jesus. I don't know. Blow it up. Start all over.
Well, Xavier Rhodes, huge contract.
He'll be gone. He won't be back. And I think they're going to let
him?
They'll either tell him to take a pay cut or he's going to be gone. He's just too big of a head case right now. I don't know what happened. He can shut down Julio Jones, but he can't stop a nosebleed
Do you slide
anywhere else.
safety?
What's that?
Do you slide him back to safety?
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know.
You're paying him, I don't know, $15 million a year or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll bring Trey Waynes back, John?
If they get Rhodes to take a pay cut, yeah. Or is one of the two things is going to happen. Either Rhodes is gone or he has to take a pay cut so that they can sign Waynes. I think Waynes gives up some big plays every now and then, but he's right now more consistent, I think, than Rhodes.
He's been our most consistent corner.
Yeah.
Plus, I think, isn't Mackenzie Alexander up after this year, too?
He is. If it's not this year, it's next. So, and I like Hughes. I'd go with Hughes, Alexander, and Rhodes. I wouldn't be scared to do that. I think that's really good, actually.
I'd rather cut Rhodes and go with Waynes, Hughes, and Alexander.
What did I say? I meant that. Waynes. Yeah, I'm sorry, not Rhodes. Waynes. Yeah, what you said. I really would have liked Ramsey, Waynes, Alexander.
No. We've got our own diva and Stephon Diggs. No. I don't want to deal with that nonsense.
He's so good.
I like the guy next to you, Jeff. He knows his football. Which, by the way, you're a big
His football.
hey, you're a big Florida State guy. What do you think about prime time being the head coach?
I was just telling these guys that it's not gonna happen, but I think
It would be freaking awesome, though.
Oh yeah, God,
That would be a shit show.
it would
Oh,
be just felonies left and right.
yeah, it'd be like Miami back in the day.
The
it'd be
last
freaking
KSU
awesome.
coach is gonna be in the parking lot, just waiting to accumulate his roster.
Oh, it would be like Catholics versus Convicts Part 2. It'd be so good.
Did you guys ever see Primetime on the Bear Grylls show on the Discovery Channel?
Trey.
Yeah, Trey.
Matt is just ready to go. Did you start this call?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
you're not drinking.
This isn't just a call. We're on the podcast, so I'm also producing the podcast.
Are we still podcasting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
We should probably actually cut it. We've been on for like over an hour and a half.
Hour and 45 minutes.
They can listen if they want. That's up to them.
But Matt is about ready to pass out. He's like falling asleep at the wheel.
Like in the back of his head.
Yeah. Are you not having a beer either?
Oh no, I'm sick. Well,
So
I had a beer with dinner, but I don't need any more.
I talked Matt into the podcast tonight.
Jeff goes, "You want a podcast?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Come on."
okay. See, we're all feeling good because we've got a little liquid courage in us right now.
I'm ready. To
I've pretty much already decided I'm sleeping at Greaves' house tonight, so might as well just keep rolling.
Oh, do I need?
You guys can continue your call, but the podcast has got to end.
So Jeff Bottom Grieve Top is actually going to be a real thing tonight.
Ooh!
You come up with the stupidest ass names, I swear to God.
I happen to think Jeff Bottom Grieve Top was amazing.
He was pretty clever.
Yeah, but
My photoshopping is actually probably the best part of it.
I'm not gonna lie, you've got some pretty superior Photoshop skills. Like, I don't know where you found that picture from, but
Basically, I just I googled two men doing each other,
yeah.
and that's what popped up.
Sure. Sounds about right.
Okay, podcast over. Everybody,
Peace out, Manny. John, you got a split too?
Hey.
No, I've got a